There's an interesting paragraph in the first chapter of the book, The Folklore of the Garos by Devansing Romtu. The first edition of this book came out in 1960. It contains a record of the Garo migration through Garhwal Hills in present Uttarakhand and a place called Roopkund where many Garos died due to lack of food. For those not much aware of the Garo history, a brief intro here. In our folklore, 3 migratory groups were recorded. The first group, led by Jappa Jalampa, which came from Tibet, passed through present-day Sikkim and North Bengal area and settled at Coach Behar for about 400 years. The second group, led by Auk Asluk, also came from Tibet along the Yarlung Zangbo. And the third group, led by Raja Shirampa, came through present-day Myanmar. But of course, there could be other migratory groups as well, but they were not recorded so far. Now we get back to Roopkund. Here's a map of Garhwal Hills, and here's Roopkund. Let's check this out in Google Maps. Switching to satellite view. And 3D view. Now let's check some photos. We see some pictures of skeletons here. Here also. We will get to the story of these skeletons. In the winter of 1942, during the years of World War II, an Indian forest official came across them. And the number of skeletons were estimated to be about 300 to 800 in number. So, are they the skeletons of the perished ancestors of the Garos? Are they the members of the migratory troop of Jappa Jalampa? Before coming to conclusion, we need to check some of the scientific tests which were already done. The first tests were conducted back in 1956. But the carbon dating methods, being not so efficient back then, gave the bones between 500 to 800 years old. Then again in 2003, National Geographic would start a series of tests. This time, the bones were estimated to be around 850 AD. The interesting point to note out of this expedition was that there were actually 2 groups of skeletons, the tall ones and the shorter ones, who were suspected to be local porters. The latest DNA tests were done in 2019. The results were published in detail here in Nature Communications. You can expand and see the images. Even download the entire article here. For further analysis, bones of 38 Roopkund individuals were taken. 23 of them were males and 15 females. The genetic ancestry of these individuals can be clustered into 3 groups. Roopkund A of South Asian ancestry, comprising of present-day India, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal and Pakistan. Roopkund B of Mediterranean ancestry, and Roopkund C of East Asian ancestry. And here's the table of radiocarbon dating. The Roopkund A individuals date between 7 to 10 centuries. But even here, if you observe carefully, there are variations in years, suggesting that they might have died in separate events. These are Roopkund B and C individuals, dating back to somewhere around the 1800s, and suggesting they all died in a single incident. For our purpose, we can discard off the Roopkund B and C individuals, as we have arrived at Coach Behar before the time of the first Coach Kingdom in AD 1515. The only possible cluster we could have belonged is Roopkund A, but the genetic affinities of Roopkund A are in mainland India. Also, no Roopkund individual tested so far show any genetic resemblance to any nearby Himalayan race, which means no bones of any Garo ancestors have been found yet. So, was the author making up stories? The remains were discovered back in 1942, but it was made known to the public only in 1956. The book came out in 1960. There's a 4 years gap, but we also do not know how many years earlier The book was also compiled before being published in 1960. And for the bones to fit the description in Garo folklore, the individuals should have died in a single event, unlike those in the case of Roopkund A. The author of the chapter was a certain Santagabal of Singilmari village of Tarang district in Assam. It's 1960 Assam. There's no Meghalaya, no Mizoram, no Nagaland. There's no Chirang, no Baksa, no Udalguri districts. We'll try to locate Singilmari in Google Maps. It's not it, as Pacharia was in Kamrup district those days. There's another Singilmari in Koirabari. Here's Koirabari, and I think this is it, Singilmari. I went first Koirabari this year, and this is the picture. Just a point to highlight, the Garos have a few marks of passing through the Himalayas. In Garo folklore, there's this pig-headed deity called Surima Wakma. It's similar to Barahi of Nepal and Dorji Phagmo of Tibet. If the Garos do not pass through the Himalayas, this pig-headed deity in folklore is meaningless, as there is no snow in present-day places of the Garos. If the evidence of Garo migration through Roopkund is found, identifying Asong Nonoi, the original homeland of the Garos in Tibet, would have come closer.